Guys, it's Sarah, and today I want to share with you some of the books I have recently downloaded onto my Kindle. Every so often, I will kind of update you on what I have either purchased on my Kindle or what I've downloaded from NetGalley, and when I have a decent list, I go ahead and make a video for you. So this is the last couple of months. There have been some pretty good deals on some books, so I usually don't pay more than $2 for an ebook. Honestly, I keep up with some discount sites and stuff. I'll leave what I follow down below. And when some good deals pop up on books that are already on my wish list, sometimes I will go ahead and grab them for, less than $2. And then anything that I pick up from NetGalley, I will let you know that as well. NetGalley is a digital review site where you actually sign up and you can request books digitally. So that's something that I use on a regular basis as well. Okay, so I have 3 books that I purchased recently. The first one is actually a book that has recently been recommended to me. So I was like, oh, I just picked that up actually. And that's The Nothing Man by Catherine Ryan Howard. I got this for 99 cents. And it was kind of perfect timing because I'd been thinking about getting this book. My friend Audrey over at Chapter and Converse just read this book and absolutely loved it. She loves Catherine Ryan Howard, so this author has been on my radar anyway. And when that popped up for $1, I was like, there's no question I'm going to buy this book on Kindle. And I'm really excited about this one. Now, this one does feature a serial killer, and it is following a woman whose family was killed by the serial killer, and she's like the lone survivor type thing, and it's following her, I think, as an adult, and she writes this book about her experience, and then the serial killer ends up reading this book, and he starts targeting her because now he knows who she is, because she maybe is the one that got away. This one is Member of the Family, and this is by Diane Lake, and this was recommended to me right after I read Helter Skelter and talked about it. I had quite a few people say, pick this up, it's amazing. And then, I'm not kidding you guys, probably later that week, it popped up for $1.99. And I was like, it's a sign. I need to get it. This one is a nonfiction book, and it follows Diane Lake, who was a member of Charles Manson's family back in the day when everything was happening. She was part of it. And so she's going to be telling her experiences. I have seen her in some interviews in some specials and things like that I have been watching since I read Helter Skelter. And so she's very open about her experiences and all that stuff. So I definitely went ahead and downloaded that one. This one is Snowfall and Secrets by Kimberly Loff. Now, this one I got for free, and as far as when I'm recording this, it's still free. And this is the first book in a series called The Michigan Millionaires. So it's going to be like a romance, type of series. And this follows a woman who lands a teaching job in Michigan, but she's from Florida. So she ends up moving or going up to Michigan to do this teaching job. I don't know if it's a temporary thing or a permanent thing or not, but she ends up there in the middle of winter, which she was not prepared for. And she is living in this place, and her landlord is apparently very hot. They end up getting trapped together in the middle of a snowstorm. And so that's what it is. And I'm sure it's going to be hot and steamy, but I went ahead and got it. It was free. Why not? Okay, so now we're getting into my NetGalley book. So the first one is Everything We Didn't Say by Nicole Bart. This one just came out in November of 2021. And this one is a mystery book. I don't know if it's a thriller, but it's definitely a mystery. And it follows this woman who is kind of in a really great place in her life. She's in love, like this budding relationship, and she's really happy. And then a murder happens in her town, and her younger brother becomes the suspect for that murder. So everything just really falls apart. She ends up leaving town, and then vows never to come back. And then, of course, years later, she does come back, and she is helping an ill friend who is running the local library, I think. So she comes in to help her because she needs some help with that. And she kind of has this mission to actually solve the murder that happened that her brother was accused of. So it sounded interesting. The next one is Circus of Wonders by Elizabeth McNeil, which comes out in February. This is one of my most anticipated books that is coming out soon, and I was very happy to get approved for it on NetGalley. And this follows a young girl who is sold to the circus, and it is following her in her career So she's sold as a child and she's not happy about that because she becomes this, sideshow type thing, and people are gawking at her and all that stuff. And she ends up becoming one of the most famous performers, if you will, or one of the most famous things about this circus. However, the owner of the circus does not like that because she's stealing his limelight. So it's going to be a whole thing. The next one is The Night Shift by Alex Finley, which comes out in March, another one of my most anticipated releases. So I was very happy to get approved for this one as well. And this follows a crime that happens in the 90s at a Blockbuster Video. I know what that is. That was the place to be on a Friday night. And there's like one survivor of that massacre. So someone comes in and kills everybody in the store except for one person. And there is somebody who is accused of that. And then you fast forward to a more current timeline, and there's another massacre that happens, I want to say in a movie theater, where it's the same type of thing where there's one survivor, and it's very reminiscent of that one, and it happens in the same town. So I think some people come together to try to figure out who is doing this because they're eerily similar. So I haven't read anything by Alex Finley yet. This is his second book, and I really do want to read it. And fun fact, he lives local to me. Okay, the next one is This Might Hurt by Stephanie Warble. This one also comes out in February, another one of my most anticipated books. So I got very lucky on NetGalley because I just went through and I requested everything that's on my most anticipated books, and some of them I got approved for. So this is one of them. And this follows a woman and her sister. So this woman's sister is having a really hard time in her life, and she decides that she's going to go on this retreat that is, I believe, a 6-month retreat where you are completely isolated. You are not going to be connected to the outside world at all. And upon her making this decision, our main character gets very worried about her and worried about her mental state and if this is a dangerous situation or not. So I think she ends up going to this retreat to follow her sister to try to bring her back or to make sure that she's okay, but nothing is as it seems, as it usually is. So that sounds interesting. Then the next one is The Roughest Draft by Emily Wibberley and Austin Siegmund Broca. Comes out in January, and another one of my most anticipated releases. I'm so excited for this one. And this follows an author duo who write romance books. They had like this multi-book deal. They were very successful. Their books were selling, and then they end up having a falling out, and they are not even on speaking terms anymore. However, they still have one more book on their contract that they have to write. And so they find themselves being forced back together, and they go to this retreat place in Florida to try to knock this out and just get it done so they can be done with each other. But I'm pretty sure some things are going to be happening on that retreat, and I'm very excited to see what it is. And this is a married couple who writes together. So I love that it's a couple who are authors who are writing about a couple who are authors. So I love that. I think it's going to be written really well because of that. And I'm just excited to see what it's about. And this is their first adult book from what I'm understanding. They have written some young adult romance books, but this is their first adult one. So I'm excited to check it out. The next one is Home or Away by Kathleen West, and this one comes out in March, and this is following hockey. That's the biggest theme in here, and it follows two girls who are kind of training for Olympic status, and one of them does not make the roster, and it causes a lot of tension between them and even causes one of them to just completely leave the town altogether. And then years later, as an adult, she ends up coming back to this town for her children and some opportunities for them. And she finds herself thrown right back into the competitiveness of this. And she's reunited with her old friend. And it kind of goes from there. And you see her trying to struggle with what's best for my kids versus what's best for me, and doing all this stuff and kind of rehashing the past, if you will. And yeah, it sounds good. Hey guys, those are the most recent books that I downloaded onto my Kindle, both from NetGalley and books I purchased myself. So let me know if you've read any of them. Let me know if you're excited about any of the new releases coming out, as well as I am. I'm really excited that I got some of my most anticipated books approved so I can read them. And yeah, let me know your thoughts down below, and I will see you guys again soon. Hope you have a great day. Bye.